Hi, welcome back to 40 Auto Works. My name's Jeremy. My friends call me Styles. Um, have another update. We got our donor truck here finally, the Ram. I'll show that to you in a few minutes here. There hasn't been a whole lot of other things go on. Again, just busy working on the house and stuff like that. Um, the Silverado's gone. I'll show you that in a minute. Um, Other than that, been scavenging parts around and trying to figure out what to do. Next with the Hudson or the Buick. Still kind of undecided. Part of me wants to just go right at the Hudson. The other part of me wants to carry on with the Buick. Anyway, the voices in my head are arguing about that back and forth. That happens all the time. Sometimes good ideas happen out of it, not too often. However, uh, uh, I'll be back at one of these two projects here in the next 4 or 5 days. But in the meantime, we'll have a look at the donor. But first, there's something else. All right, so another development today is we did get our wheels. You can see the brown one over here was one of the ones I had already. And I met a gentleman in town. He had 4 more. There's 2 of them there. Other 2 are stacked up over here. These are actual 1956 Bel Air wheels. Pretty hard to find, so I'm pretty happy to have those. Bolt pattern, everything is right on them. They will accept the baby moon, or the tiny hubcap, or dog dish as people call them. They have a little bit of pitting in them. Some of them worse than others, but there's 4 of them here. I'm going to pick the best 2, probably, and use them with the other ones that he did have, and then I will have a set of 4. And a gentleman by the name of George had them, and he gave them to us free of charge. I have to say thank you very much, George. Pretty excited about that. Now, the original 56 wheels, as you can see, are a little narrower than the ones that I had. I think the ones they had are probably off a 70s or an 80s car. So, yeah, that's our big find of the day. I'm quite excited about that. I'm going to get them on the Hudson soon to try them out and see how they fit, and then get a coat of paint on them, nice coat of black paint. And as I said, they're not at all perfect, but that doesn't matter. I think we can maybe, that one might be a little too far gone, but I'll see if I can fix it. They're also, the face is, you can see here, they're riveted in as opposed to being welded in. So I don't know, maybe we might someday learn how to take them off and put them in a wider hoop. I don't know. However, it doesn't matter. Right now, we'll get them cleaned up as best we can, pick the 4 best ones, and put them in the car. Again, thank you very much, George. That made my day. I can't wait to see them on the car. Suppose I'm going backwards, getting wheels first, but it was something on my list, and I wanted to get crossed off the list because I kind of want the car sitting on the ground. Take these old Buick wheels off her and get these on. And I think I got some old winter tires down there for now, etc. I'm just got to find out how well everything's going to fit. So, William's supposed to be coming to get this old Silverado today. It'd be nice to have that out of the yard. He should be here any time now. I'll have to pump up the tires for him. Both the front and back tires don't want to hold air on the same side. Anyway, we've got all we're going to get off it. Hopefully there's some pickings left for him that he wants. All the body panels are good on the driver's side, so he'll be able to use those. And probably salvage what he can from there. Anyway, we'll see what happens. And there goes the old Silverado. Makes my wife happy, another one gone. So, now that that's taken care of, here's our donor truck, 2004 Ram with a Hemi, 4-wheel drive, automatic, manual transfer case. This is the one we traded the black truck for with Dave, and it's here for a donor. It runs good. However, Dave thought maybe the fuel pump was gone, but he was messing around with it here on the weekend, and Turns out every time you put a fuse in the fuel pump spot in the fuse box, it blows the fuse. So that's kind of good. It means the pump might be all right. It might just be a short. Anyway, it's not in the best shape, but it'll work for what we want. So the decision now is, which vehicle do we use it for? The old 41 Imperial or the green Ford? Now, the truck, the Ram, has a 140-inch wheelbase. The Imperial has 145 and a half, and the Ford is, I think, around 131 or I think it's 133. So we would have to either shorten the wheelbase or extend the cab with the Ford. And for the Imperial, all I would have to do is move the wheel wells. And it's Chrysler, it probably should have a Hemi. So I will show a few things on this truck, since I really don't have much else that I could do at this point in time, because I said we've been busy. It's got a nice set of 20-inch wheels on it, chrome wheels, which I think are a little newer than the truck. I think that wheels might possibly be from 11 or 12 or maybe 13 Ram, maybe a Limited or a Bighorn. I'm not positive. But they're chrome. I used to be detailer. I'm pretty sure that a little bit of wheel acid will take that off. These are the plastic clad wheels, so I get them cleaned up to be all right. Just have decent tires on them. It does have the manual transfer case, which is good. Less electronics to deal with. I see somebody's cut some holes in the dash, but anyway, Kenwood stereo in it, so we'll use that in something. Now my thought with the truck would be, if we put the green Ford on it, that we would, take the back doors off it here, of course, and cut the cab right off take the cab right off the frame, but cut her down here along the floor, up there, across the firewall where the windshield meets it, and then graft the green truck onto it. And then that would give us these seats. We'd have all the steering column and everything where it's supposed to be. I'd be able to use the heater controls, possibly even the Dodge dashboard, although I'd much rather have the steel dashboard in the Ford. Kind of the plan. And when that's done, you'll have a Ford that looks like a Ram. Pardon me. Basically a Ram underneath, but it'll look like the old 75 Ford. Please excuse my camera work again. And underneath the hood here, of course, is the Hemi. And it does run. As we mentioned earlier, there's a fuel issue, but I think we can have it running. I had my battery and it was turning over, so there's lots of life there yet. Again, as I mentioned, I'd be cutting it. I'm thinking I'd cut it along here on the firewall, and somehow I'd have to graft the bottom of the top of the Ford firewall into that, all the way along across there. That's my thought, if we go with the Ford. If we end up using the Imperial, then all this goes. We would, I kind of same thing as I'm doing with the Hudson. We would save the there's chickens. We would save the just the frame. The frame is very good in this truck. I can't get much of a shot on it. Anyway, you can see the body's seen better days. So the plan would be to try and keep the dashboard in the green truck, this old green Ford here. Just graft the rest of the cab around the Ford, around the Dodge. I'm thinking there might be enough room. And then, because the wheelbase is longer, the easiest thing to do would be extend this box. I don't think you'd see another 7 inches in it. Apologize again for the camera work. There's no room down here, so I can't really get a good shot of anything. The old Ford then would definitely ride a little higher than it does, which is fine. I kind of like kind of like two-wheel drive trucks, a bit lower, but it'd be going four-wheel drive if we do that. Which is another reason for maybe not using it for the Imperial. And as you can see in here, we've already cut the floor right out of the Imperial, front to back. Back fenders are in there. Bumpers and stuff. So probably almost be less work to do the Imperial at this point. And of course it would have the Hemi, as I keep mentioning. The tires would be quite a bit bigger. I'd have to cut these wheel arches out here in the back fender. The front fenders are, the front clip is off the car over in the field, and we'd be making up 5 or 6 inches in the difference in the wheel well by moving. I'll show you on this fender here, even though it's the back one. This wheel well, instead of being stopping here or starting there, would be back here with the front one anyway, not the back one, but that's kind of the plan. And then again, as I said before, with the Ford, I don't want the Imperial sitting much higher than it is. I don't want anybody to look at it and know it's four-wheel drive. Anyway, that's the plans on that. Now that the Ram is here, so we have a donor for something else. Just to decide which way to go with it, but that won't be anytime soon. It's here. We'll start maybe stripping it in the spring. I may, as I said, just pull the wheels off and clean them up for the old green Ram. Time to get back some more work at maybe this or the Hudson. Just try to decide. Should really be this. As you can see, the 5.3 is in there. What's left is figuring out what to do with our power steering pulley. I mentioned earlier that there's a possibility of finding a smaller one. That's kind of what's holding me up right now. I'd like to find a smaller one because the original Silverado one was rubbing against the bolts of the steering box. I got to pull these manifolds back off. They're just there with 2 bolts. Put some gaskets in after I take the old busted manifold bolts off. I'm certainly going to put the airbox and stuff on it for the winter. And I got to pull the starter and alternator off that old white van up there. And then got to find a fuel pump. I'll probably use an inline pump with the Corvette regulator and go from there. And of course the chickens are down here like always. Can't go anywhere without them. I keep thinking that maybe the best scenario might be to put the old green Ford on there. Anyway, still undecided. Everybody knows I flip-flop about 10,000 times for anything gets done. So if anybody wants to chime in and tell me their thoughts, that'd be great. Not that anything that's going to happen anytime soon. Driveway looks a little better now without the Silverado there. Now I got my parking spot back. Room over on this side too. Maybe I can see something else home. Oh well, it's nice to have an extra parking spot. So that is going to be it. It's not much, and I apologize for that, but as I've said hundreds of times, we're just busy. I will get back out here soon. I'd like to start maybe putting the motor in the Hudson. There's another thing that I want to do, along with working on the Buick. I'm going to start figuring out a wiring harness soon for both rigs. So that's kind of a good scenario because I'll be able to figure out how to put harness in a motor. I'll have to run everything in the Buick down there. Will still use its own harness, and the Hudson, which needs everything. So the Hudson's going to more or less think it's a Silverado. I'll be able to use the OBD port, plug it in and scan it, and go from there. So that's coming up soon. I'm going to be back out here very shortly, I hope. I apologize again for not having anything much to show you, but that's just where we're at now. And thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. And again, if anybody has any ideas of any of these projects that they want to throw at me, or if I'm doing anything wrong, let me know, because I'm learning just like you guys are. If you are learning, I know there's a lot of you that know a lot more than me. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and have a good one.